there, Scott Harding here, and I want to share with you about our recent adventures in Wisconsin. So, Becky and I decided we wanted to go down in the Milwaukee area, but we've really enjoyed staying at these state and county parks and actually city parks as well. And we found a park that was just outside of Milwaukee. It was probably about, I think it was 14, 15 miles out of Milwaukee, and it was called, or is called, Cliffside Park. And it's in the town, the closest town is Racine, Wisconsin. And it was excellent, a great experience. We wanted to go there. We wanted to stay a few nights and relax and get some things done around the RV that we wanted to do. And we also wanted to go into Milwaukee, and primarily what we wanted to see in Milwaukee is we wanted to go by the Harley Davidson Museum. Obviously, it was founded in Milwaukee. Harley Davidson was. It's got good U.S. Historical roots to the company. It's got a really cool story, and so we decided to go in there and tour the museum, and we actually had lunch in there, and we really enjoyed our time in Milwaukee, and especially staying in Racine. So some of the things that we liked about Cliffside Park is it was very spacious. A lot of these city and county parks especially, we are finding that they are very, very spacious. Lots of room in between the sites. They've got big grass areas, nice common areas. They're well ran. They've got camp hosts. Most of them have the local police that go through a few times a day and even at night, so there's a high level of safety at these parks. So we really like those. The other thing we really like is it helps us stay within budget. We're averaging between $15 and maybe $37 per night at parks, depending on where they're at and what amenities they have. This particular park, and we're finding that it's this way quite often in Wisconsin, even Illinois, and in Minnesota, is some of them don't have all of the hookups. This one did not have sewer. They do have an on-site dump. It didn't have sewer, but it did have electrical and water. And the electric, it had 30 amp, it had 50 amp. So it was really nice. And that's usually we try to travel with our water full, and we can go a number of days without dumping our black tanks. So it was fine for us. We didn't have sewer, no problem. We just hooked up, had great. The electrical was great. We actually had water. That was great. So we really enjoyed that aspect of it. Very, very affordable to stay there. $35 a night is what we paid. And so that really helps us stay within budget. We did go in, as I said, we went into Milwaukee. We went to the Harley Davidson Museum, and that was a pretty neat experience. Now, I'll tell you, a couple things you're going to want to do is, one, be prepared. It's a little bit more expensive than what I would have thought. I think it was $22 per person is what we paid to get in, and then we paid the extra $5 for the audio tour. So that's the second thing I would tell you is definitely get the audio tour. It helps you have a much, much better experience. It gives you something that's kind of like a little cell phone. You type in the number of the little dot that's next to the display, and it gives you the history about what you're looking at. Very, very cool museum. I learned a lot of things about Harley Davidson, and I thought I knew quite a bit to begin with about their company, but it was very, very cool. Saw what they claim is one of the rarest motorcycles in existence, which is the very first Harley Davidson ever made, that was made in the early 1900s. The company started in 1903, but obviously the founders of it started building that motorcycle before the company was officially founded. So it was created by two Davidsons and two Harleys. And those two families came together and created Harley Davidson. It's got a really strong U.S. Significance, or the impact it's had on America is pretty cool. Just a really solid company. So a lot of really cool bikes on display. It really tells a good story. The museum is well done. It's absolutely first rate. Very nice. They didn't cut any corners. It feels very industrial in there, which is kind of what you expect to feel whenever you're going through something like that. And then they had some nice shops around the outside, and they had the restaurant there. The restaurant was very good. We enjoyed it. We had an appetizer, we had a burger, and it was really good. So we enjoyed our time there. Well worth it. Good way to spend some time down in Milwaukee. Got back to our RV park, to the campsite, and we really enjoyed our time there. I was able to ride my bike a couple of times out there. Really beautiful bike rides. I don't know if you're on Strava or not, but if you're on Strava, you can pick a number of different rides that they've got. They've actually got some paved bike paths that were pretty good as well. So overall, we really enjoyed our stay there. We thought it was a nice park. It was reasonably priced, and we would definitely do it again. So Cliffside Park is what it's called. I found that on RV Life Trip Wizard, and did my research and found out that that it's a decent sized park. I think it has over 90 sites in the park. I will warn you, it said that half of the park was first come first serve and half was online reservation, and we got there and it is not first come first serve. Thank goodness they had a few spots that were available. We were not able to stay as long as we would have liked to, but it still worked out. So definitely go online and make your reservation. Some of these sites are really odd in their reservations. This is one of those. You go through and you pick everything that you want. It almost implies that there's all these sites available, and then at the end it's going to now tell you what site you can and cannot get. But at Cliffside Park, I will tell you, all of the sites are the same length. They are all very level, and they all have 50 amp power, and they all have water. So you don't have to worry about is the site going to be long enough for you if you're in a big rig like we are. So that's another thing I really like about these city and county parks, is they just kind of it seems that they cookie cut the sites. They make them all 50 feet with 50 amp, and so it's really nice that you have a confidence level that if you show up and there's a site available, you're going to fit regardless of how big your RV is. So anyway, hope this is helpful. Thanks for tuning in. As usual, if you would subscribe to this channel, it would really help me. I would appreciate that. I also appreciate any feedback that you might have. You can feel free to email me with ideas, questions. I'd be happy to share the info that we're learning on this travel across America. So thanks so much. Have a great day.